There you go. I'm going to wait a few more minutes to see who else may join us. I think we were going to have a couple of other people. I was on another Zoom with another group that I'm with, and one lady happened to mention she knows nothing about marketing. And I went, well, if you want to join us today, you can. And here she is. She's right here. Hi, Marlon. Nice to see you join us. How are you? Hi, Alona. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Nancy, Jennifer. Oh my goodness, we're going to have a good turnout for you tonight. That's great. Cindy, hello, hello. Nice to see you all here. Kari, if I miss somebody, I apologize because it might get to the point where I am a little overwhelmed here. Maybe for 1 minute or two, we should just introduce ourselves, or maybe in the chat, why don't you say where you are from right now? I'd love to hear where in the world you are. So Kaylee is here. She is my marketing person. She is my go-to girl for marketing. She is joining us from Wales. So she's gotten her little boy to sleep. Hopefully he stays that way tonight. And yeah, it's 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. for her right now. So I'm so thrilled that she is here to share her knowledge with all of you. So we've got Michigan, we've got Meridian, San Antonio, Toronto. Oh, hi, Anita. Where are you? See you. There you are. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Kathy. I see you've showed up. Kathy with a K. Kari, hello. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I was hoping for a really good turnout for Kaylee. So she just realized probably 15 minutes ago that her slideshow was missing. Figures her little boy was probably on her laptop at some point and did who knows what. So she is she's kind of scrambling a little bit. She's got her slides remade somehow. Hi, Georgette. Georgette is very close to me geographically. She lives probably, I don't know, an hour from me, Georgette?
Probably about that.
And Georgette is my cousin.
Gosh.
Very distant cousin, but there is relation there. And she knows my family, which is really cool. And she still hangs out with me. I don't know why.
Oh, it's awesome.
Hi, Diane. Hi, anybody else who's joined who I can't see your picture. I can look at my participants here, and I know that there are a few people who I am not visually seeing. But are you guys ready to hear all about marketing? Yes. Kaylee, are you ready?
Oh, I was just trying to adjust the font size on some of the slides. They were really tiny.
Go ahead. We can give you a minute or two. Hi, Robin. I see that you've joined us. Nice to see you here. Hi, Diane. Welcome, welcome. Oh, this is great. I'm so glad so many people have turned up. So tomorrow I am going to Orlando. Tomorrow I am meeting Sally in Orlando for dinner. I know. How fun is that?
I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Me too. Me too. And where's your baby right now, Sally?
He's out creating havoc in the other room. He's teething in a major way, and
oh my goodness,
it's been fun.
Sally's got a new puppy. Very cute.
Yeah,
and
he's 4 months old.
I've been able to see him in, when he first came home to now, and quite a difference. He's changed a lot.
He's almost doubled in size since we got him. So
is he going to get much bigger, Sally? I was going to ask you that earlier today.
Yeah, he's 12 pounds now, but he'll be probably 25 pounds by the time he's done. So he's got a ways to go. He's a little Cocker Spaniel. So
yeah. Oh, he's going to be so cute. All right, Kaylee, are you ready for us?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So anybody who came on a little bit later, I'll just let you know, Kaylee does all of that amazing marketing, all the emails, all the newsletters, all of that stuff is all Kaylee. She and I work together on them. I do the graphics, and she does all of the stuff that requires an actual brain. I have Kaylee do for me. So she does all the real actual work of a mailing list and segments and all the stuff that I don't even know what she does. She's just amazing. So she's got lots to share. She's a little bit nervous, but I think she's going to do just great.
Yes. How do I share my slides?
Oh, I probably have to turn the sharing on.
There we go. Can everyone see that?
Yes, I can see it.
There we go. Cool.
Yes.
Right. You'll have to bear with me. I did have prettier slides, but my toddler must have been on my laptop at some point today and deleted them. So I'm kind of going a little bit off of
Awesome.
AI generated for me in Canvas. So I just gave it the information and it's added the slides. So hopefully it works. I have gone through and checked the sizing, so you should be able to see it. Okay, so is everyone familiar with email marketing and its benefits, and has anybody got email marketing list on the go at the moment? I know Sally has. Has anyone else? If you want to let me know in the chat.
I kind of do. I think Marcy, you do it too, don't you? Because we were talking about Flowdesk one day.
So has anyone like not got an email list yet, or is everyone happy with theirs?
You can definitely talk about that.
Okay, so email marketing essentials. This will be just a quick start guide. I will explain a few bits. If you're not sure, please let me know. I will do a Q&A at the end for anyone who has got any questions. So introduction, if you don't know what email marketing is basically a channel where you can speak to your audience. You get them onto your email list via a service provider that does email marketing, things like Flowdesk, which Dolores uses. I use MailerLite. Plenty of people use things like MailChimp, ConvertKit. There's loads of different things for you. There's also platforms that do courses, like Teachable. There's ones that do like a little bit of email marketing. So Teachable does a little bit of it. Whereas platforms like FE Create, Kajabi or Kartra, those kind of platforms, they also have email marketing built in that you can use. So if anybody's got anything like that, they can also use email marketing through them. And email marketing helps you connect with your audience and keep them warm if you're doing it correctly, because there are people that don't use their list very often, and it's hard to engage people through email marketing if you're not doing it consistently. What you're wanting to do is obviously create loyal customers, and email marketing is the best way to do that. People I follow that have swarmed by email marketing have grown their list to 6-7 figures. People like Amy Porterfield, Carrie Green, she's a UK entrepreneur who's a millionaire herself, and I follow her very well. She's got the founder of Female Entrepreneurs Association, which I love. I'm on her membership. It's fantastic training that she's got on there for entrepreneurs. So what you're wanting to do is obviously build a bridge between you and your art, or your products if you've got products yourself, or even your courses if you've got courses, and you want to do that with your audience. With email marketing, and even with content that you want to be posting out, you want to be understanding your audience, and you need to be able to understand their pain points or their challenges. When it comes to art, it's what do they like? What is their interests that you want to be targeting? So obviously that'll go down to demographics as well. So obviously if your art is more centered around females or males, you want to be resonating with them and not speaking to many people. And when it comes to email marketing, that is important to be able to resonate with that person. You need to be speaking to them like you're speaking to a friend. That's the best way with email marketing. We all get emails and it's basically spam, or you mistake it for spam because it doesn't resonate with you. So what you want to be doing is tailoring your content to meet their needs and their desires. And obviously if you've got a creative audience, then that's important as well. When you're creating your first email list, obviously you have to choose the right platform for you and your needs. There are so many out there. They've got so many features, so many benefits, and it can be so overwhelming. What I would say is if you're going to look into email platforms, spend an hour just researching the pros and cons and really just looking at the future as well. Don't just look at now, because there are platforms that limit how many contacts you can have. For me, I've got MailerLite, and it's free for a certain amount, and then I have to upgrade once I get more email subscribers. I think it's 1,000. I'm not sure. Yeah, is it either 1,000 or 500? So then I have to upgrade, and I'll have to pay marketing plan once I get to that threshold. So it is worth checking how quickly you want to grow your email list, for one, and two, it's features that these email marketing platforms have. Because Flowdesk that I've found while working with Dolores has some great design features and is great at doing quick build designs in the builder, but it's lacking some features. So one feature that I have in MailerLite, I didn't have in Flowdesk. So I had to find a workaround with Dolores's platform with Flowdesk for the surveys. So we've had to do Google Forms and then link them in the emails. Whereas MailerLite, they have a built-in feature I can use, and you don't even leave the email, it has it built in. One of the reasons why I stayed with MailerLite, because you want to get feedback from your subscribers as you're going along. So emails, you want to make sure that they're designed, their designs are engaging. We all get emails that can be a bit overwhelming, and there are some that are just a plain email. So you need to kind of balance it between the boring and the overwhelming. I've had emails before where it hurts your eyes to look at the email because it's just one big bold color. That is a kind of a feature that you can do in Flowdesk, is you can have like a big block, the color choices that you do in your emails, and make sure that they don't strain the eyes. If it's straining your eyes, then it'll strain their eyes, and you don't want to put people off from reading your emails. One great thing to do with emails is make a template. So if you're first starting out, create one template for each set of automations that you're going to do. So if you're doing a welcome sequence, keep that consistent template for all your welcome sequences. Or lead magnet delivery emails, make sure you keep the same template. So have a header, you can have your logo or your branding in a header, and then do a footer, and then that can just be your template as a starting point. Then as you move on, you can add bits and update it. The same goes for a newsletter. So having a certain branding for your newsletter, so everybody knows when they get this email, it's the newsletter. And a good thing with that is if you do it at a specific time and day each week or each month or every other week, depending on how you want to do it, if the design is consistent, then they're expecting it, especially at the same time and day, then they know to expect it, and they're happy to open your emails because they associate that branding with you. Same goes for social media, any content you put out there. You need to have a consistent brand, otherwise people won't recognize you. We all have brands that we recognize. I will scroll for my feed and I will see Bonnie Christine, or I will see Stacey Bloomfield, or I will have, Jenna Blackburn. I see them and it's consistent branding. So you want to not obviously copy, but you want to take elements, what they're doing right, input that into your own email marketing and your own content. You want to be crafting compelling copy that speaks to your audience. I would suggest for anyone that copywriting is a given skill that you need to learn. Even if it is just the basics for copywriting, it is such a valuable skill to have. And I know as creatives, we don't like that kind of thing. So at first I didn't like it. I didn't like the selling, but you have to sell. So if you want your art to make money, you have to learn the selling part, and there's no way of getting around it. If you want to make money, you have to learn the basics of copywriting. And it literally is just being able to engage someone with your copy and persuading them, sounds like a silly word, but persuading them to take the next step with you. Whether that's downloading your freebie or whether that's buying your product, you're selling within the description of, let's say, your Etsy listing or your Spoonflower listing. You're selling within that, and you have to be able to put that across to them. That why should they buy from you? What makes you different? What makes your product different? You have to have a compelling description, otherwise they're just going to go, yeah, that's it, I don't want that one. Or they'll spot something out, especially on Etsy. They're seeing competitors on your listing. So if your description's not compelling enough, then they are going to move on to somebody else. So it's really important to learn that for you, just your listings or your product pages. But you also need to do it in your emails as well. And emails are such a fantastic way of being able to sell to your audience because they're a warmer customer base and they're going to be more loyal to you than to somebody on Instagram that they've just clicked on to buy something, because you can then keep selling to them and take them up what some marketers call a value ladder. You'd start off with a smaller value like the freebie, and then you would do a smaller offer, so a low ticket offer that could be a digital print, and then you could go up the ladder again and you may be doing like more prints but for framed prints that get sent to them and shipped to them. Or if you were doing courses, you would do maybe a module for that course, and you can do that as a freebie, and then they go on to buy the course, and let's say it's a mini course that they buy that, and then in the emails you would then bring them down the flow, and then you would be selling an upsell, which could be a full course that you're doing, advanced techniques or art techniques you've got. So emails are such a great way to keep the journey open for that audience, and your messaging is so important. Strategies for expanding your creative community. So lead magnets are obviously to attract them onto your email list, and I would highly suggest, if you haven't got an email list, please get one, because they are so valuable, especially if you only do online. If you do online, please make sure you get an email list, because if social media goes down and you're banking on social media to sell your stuff, it will not work, because we've had blackouts for social media and it's scary. And especially if you're selling on platforms like Etsy or Spoonflower, or in the UK we've got Folksy. If you're selling on those kind of platforms, or even print on demand places like Society6, Redbubble, if you're selling on them and just them, and you don't have a website and you're just selling through your social media, and something happens like your store gets shut down or social media shuts down, then you have no business. And I've seen plenty of people that have had their horror stories of their Etsy shop being closed or banned, product listings being taken down just for a minor thing in copy. Someone could just say that you're copying them and Etsy will just ban you. I've seen that happening to so many people. And then when they say they basically don't have a business, it's really tough. And I don't want that happening to anybody because it's awful. I had an Etsy shop. I don't have any listings on there at the moment because I need to pay for all the listings I had gathered over my maternity leave. And there's a lot of them on there, and I've got this to focus on at the moment. Yeah, so list building, you need to have that. And lead magnets are so easy to create. You do not need to complicate it. It can literally be a free digital download of your piece of art that you just size to a wallpaper on a laptop or a computer screen. That it could literally be it. So your most popular piece, turn it into a digital download. You can do other lead magnets. You can put your art on a planner or a checklist that your ideal audience has interests around. Let's say you have an ideal audience that loves dogs. You could do a checklist for dogs, something around that. So you can put some art on that, and then you can use that as a free lead magnet. There are so many different ways, and it also depends on your route as well, what products you offer. Obviously, if you're doing courses, or if you sell digital art or digital resources, so like brushes like Dolores does, so offering like a free bundle or a free brush set could be a lead magnet in its own. So yes, so promoting your email list, you can do that through social media, which everybody knows, but obviously you need to make sure that's effective as well. And it's so much easier now as well. Lead magnets are brilliant to put on social media, and there's actually a automated system that you can set up. I won't go too much into detail with it because it's a bit of a rabbit hole, but there's a platform called ManyChats. So if nobody's heard of it, you can look that up, ManyChats. And basically you can set up automated flows which work off of if someone comments or DMs you a key phrase. So let's say I've got one for visibility blueprint. That's one of my lead magnets. If I said comment down below if you want this freebie, visibility blueprint, then they comment that phrase, and then ManyChat will send them the lead magnet, or send them a message, and it will have the lead magnet download that they can download, and it puts their email address and things into my email provider. So that's one way of automating it, and you can make it as personalized as you want as well on the messages that this ManyChat sends. That's one way you can do that, but obviously that can be quite complicated for some people. And if you've not heard of it before, just have a quick look. YouTube, brilliant. Just have a look at that if that's something you wanted to set up. But yes, and another thing for promoting email lists, you can also do collaborations, and this is something that I'm literally doing right now. So collaborations are a fantastic way to list build. There is a lady, Kenzie something or other, I'll have to look for her name. She is fantastic at collaboration. She's built her business on collaborating with other people that are in her niche. She does so many different collaborations. She's collaborated with a book, so basically different people have contributed parts so to make this whole book, their best tips or whatever for whatever she did. She's also done audio summits where each person does a audio topic, and then people get that for free. And then once people sign up, if they see your audio clip, then you can promote with them, and then they can go onto your email list as well. So that's a great way to list build. There's other ways you can collaborate. You can do collaborations with artists, collaborate on pieces or a collection together. You can collaborate on workshops together. There's a couple of people I've seen actually doing collaborations as art prompts. So they set up like this, just like a little event with art prompts that they all joined in, and then they get people to join in through Instagram or Facebook, and basically they have like a line if you want to join, then follow both people or join the list to find out about it when the next art prompt event is happening, and then you can do that. There's also other ways you can do free giveaways, so you can collaborate with another artist to do free giveaway and get people on your list that way. So there's many ways of doing it. So planning your email content. So when it comes to email planning, I would suggest either creating a Google Doc or a spreadsheet. Plan around your topics that you want to do. If you've not heard about content pillars before, basically it's a core topic that you would talk around, your audience would be interested in learning about. So some artists audience might have a certain interest. So if they paint, let's say, flowers, they could be gardeners. So you might do some content around gardening, around your content of showing your art, doing your behind the scenes. That would be another content pillar. So your behind the scenes, your story, how you got into doing your art, story behind your art. It could be an art piece that has a story. That is one thing that a lot of your audience will connect with as well. If you have an art piece, building a story around that art piece is so valuable, and it will draw more people to your art if you have a story around it. If you're just posting it up and just hoping that someone buys it, a lot of the time it won't work, unless obviously someone really loves your art. So that is one thing. Obviously you get some people like that, but at the end of the day, the online space has so many art pieces out there. It's just difficult to pick. I follow so many people and I would love to have their art in my house, but one, I don't have room, and two, I don't have the money to buy everything that I love and see. So if I really resonated with that artist's story and the story behind their art, then I'm more likely to buy their art. And the same goes with the emails. If you're putting your stories in your emails, they're more likely to resonate. So about your day, you might have had a day where you've created art and something happened. You could put that in. You can ask engaging questions to get them to reply to you in your emails. And you want to balance the promotion and the value. You want to be providing more educational content or inspirational content, because of it, when it comes to art, you want to be promoting inspiration as well. And you want to be balancing that out with your promotional content. I would possibly do it depending on your niche as well. So obviously with Dolores, she has a lot she can sell. So some of the emails we do have quite a lot of promotion, because obviously she's an art educator. She also sells products. So it's balancing the promotion with what you're actually providing as well, but it's valuable. So you need to work out your ratio. If you start getting a lot of unsubscribes on your emails, then you may need to have a look at it and see, am I promoting too much or am I not promoting enough? Because if you're just giving educational or inspirational content, but you're not selling to them, then there's no point. You basically have a hobby then. So you want to be promoting as well. Even just doing what they call soft sell. Soft sell could be where it's just in the PS. So you've got your email, you've got educational piece or inspirational piece or a story that you're sending them. And then in the PS, you just have, this is what I have for sale at the moment, or this is a popular piece you can buy. Just a link and a call to action to go to your store to see the latest, or your latest classes if you've got a list. So you can do it that way as well. You can also weave it in to a story. So if it aligns with a story and it's with your new art piece, then you can have, obviously, this what they call soft sell within the links, or link it to a piece of text. So obviously with content strategy as well, you want to be making sure that you have a plan with your content. Don't just post willy-nilly because if you start doing that, you won't be consistent and you'll find that your email list will start going cold and you'll have to start re-engaging them again. And that's not what you want to be doing. Obviously, you want to do re-engagement campaigns for people that haven't opened your emails in a while. It could just be a subject line. It hasn't been optimized enough for them to open it, or engaging enough for them to open it. So you have to look at things like that as well. With your content strategy, you have to balance it out. So if you do need help with content strategy, please let me know. I will try and explain it a bit better. I'm much better at typing than I am talking about it. And plus, it's just a wealth of knowledge I have on that, and it's so difficult to get out what I actually know. Automating your email marketing. Literally, if you're just starting out, a welcome sequence with a lead magnet is the best way to just start. And it can be so simple. You just set up a lead magnet, get the link shareable. So you can do that through Google, or you can do it through, I think you can do it through Microsoft as well. Obviously, you've got that Amazon A3 or whatever it is. I no idea how to do that bit. Google is my best friend when it comes to shareable links. But obviously make sure to actually do it so it's not private as well, because we've had some issues with that. Both me and
Testing.
have made that mistake. So it's easily done. So when you do upload it, make sure you change the sharing settings on that. So yeah, email, you could literally just send a welcome email, and then you can just send them a newsletter once a week or once every 2 weeks. I wouldn't suggest doing it once a month unless you genuinely don't have anything to say and you can't think of anything to say. Then I would start working on a content plan for that. So yeah, I would suggest 1 to 4 emails if you're starting out and you don't really know what else to do. Yeah, so automating your emails, a welcome sequence, you can do automations. I would suggest doing abandoned cart. So if you have a store, making sure you put an abandoned cart email sequence in, that is so valuable to make sure that people actually go back, because we've all done it where we've put a product in and something's distracted us and we've forgotten about it, and it's like, yeah, I don't even remember what I was buying. Yeah, abandoned cart sequence is another one that you want to be doing. Re-engagement emails, it depends on your email platform that you're using. Some automate it, where if somebody hasn't opened for, let's say, 3 months, then you can send an automated re-engagement sequence. And there's templates out on the internet that you can use, or there's people that do it where it's paid and they give you a template. That's those two. And then obviously newsletter you want to be sending out, but you can automate it like we do sometimes, automate the emails for the newsletter that we send out, but you can just pick a day in the week, set one up, and then just send that out. It's up to you. So obviously your automations would deliver consistency and would drive sales as well without you having to do much. So if you forget to do it, at least you know it's automated.
Yeah.
Another thing as well, obviously, if you're sick or you're away on holiday, when you've got automated sequences, it's automatically selling for you. If you've got an automated sales system put in place, then you can do that.
Kaylee, you have one question there. What,
do I?
yeah, an example. Can you give an example of something that you would put into the abandoned cart sequence?
I haven't done one in a while. So an abandoned cart sequence would be something like you've noticed that what was it? I can't remember what it was. I have got templates
At
of
11 o'clock at night, I can't remember anything either.
I know
Most of the time they say something like, we noticed that you've left something in your cart,
yeah.
something, and then a couple of questions, like, do you have a question about the product, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's basically, it goes through kind of like a little bit of a list of like the objections that they may have had, and you just answer them. Was it like the wrong size, wrong fit, wrong color? Then you can kind of get a little bit of feedback on that. Or it'll just be, we've noticed that you've abandoned it, we'll give you a discount off or something like that. So yeah, it can vary. It depends on also what product you're selling. Obviously, if it's a course, it'd be a bit different. If you're selling a physical product, it's also different. So it's just finding something that works with what you're selling, and obviously with what platform you're using as well to send those emails out.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so analyzing your email performance. I know this is a bit techie, I apologize, but unfortunately email marketing can get a bit techie, and I will try and explain it as simply as possible. What key metrics are is a measurement of a certain, what would you call it? Response, yeah. Or a certain action that somebody may have taken. So what we call, open rate. So an open rate is how many people have opened your email, and then you have a click-through rate, which would be somebody that's clicked on a link in that email, and then you have a conversion rate. Some platforms don't do it, and you have to do the integrations as well with, if you're doing it with a cart or a shop that you have. So a conversion rate would be how many people have bought from whatever they clicked on. So it depends on that as well. Then you have what we call a bounce rate, which is when someone has basically, it's hit their inbox, but it's bounced off. They've not received it, and kind of undeliverable. Then you have obviously unsubscribes. You want to be measuring, because if you're getting a lot of unsubscribes, then you need to look at, why are they unsubscribing? Is it that you're not resonating with your content? Is it that your email's design is maybe off a bit? You're not providing enough value? It can be numerous things, or you're selling too much or not enough. So with unsubscribes, people say a good average that you're probably looking at is about 15 unsubscribes per email, which I thought was quite high, but apparently it's not, depending on your list size as well. So it is something to be looking at. And obviously you want to be growing your list continually. It's so important, because otherwise people are going to be unsubscribing. You're not getting enough new people on your list. It's really key to look at your analytics on your email service provider that you're using. You want to be looking obviously at your open rates. Open rates are as important, because you want to make sure that your subscribers are actually opening your emails. If they're not, then it's more than likely your subject title that needs looking at. And a great thing would be to A/B test. So I have 2 titles that you can optimize, and basically duplicate the email and send it to what you call segment of your list. So a portion of your email list will go with one title, and the other email will go to another segment of your email list. And you just look at the average of how that's working out. If one's performing better from that, then you would go with that one for the next send, or a variation of that. You can also do A/B testing on the content itself. You can do A/B testing on forms as well, different parts of forms. And it also depends on the email service provider you're using as well, because some don't have A/B testing, or they have A/B testing, but it's in a higher price plan. So it is something to look at. And obviously you need to adjust your strategy based on the performance data that you're receiving. So making sure that you're looking at all that data together and really analyzing why something might be higher or lower in a certain area. It's complicated, but you can uncomplicate it. I would get a guide or something on key metrics to just keep to the side, and I would do at least every quarter doing your analytics, but I would suggest doing it monthly and at least checking in weekly with the emails if you've sent them out of what that was like against the previous email. Okay, overcoming common challenges. Email marketing hurdles. There is so many. I know the tech is a big issue for people. I'm very tech savvy, but there are still some email marketing things that I'm a bit like, oh, no, I don't know what to do with that. Please, where's support? And sometimes I even don't even get like a proper answer from support. It's too techy, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. I had some issues over Christmas with a platform I was going to be using with the email, setting up that on that platform, and yeah, I had a big whole what's going on, and it turns out the support email I was using was actually null and void, and that's why 2 weeks I was like, why have I not heard anything back? And it turns out it was the wrong email and they hadn't actually removed it from the site. So one of the reasons why I've left that platform. This is why it's important to research the email platform you're going to be using and pick one. If you're not tech savvy at all, please find one that helps you and has such great support. MailerLite, I use them and they're really great. Another one I found out recently, actually, a few people have I'd never heard of it past 2 weeks ago, and people have said like really great things about it, and a lot of creatives have started using it. I think it's called Octopus Email. It's not a new platform, but it's a platform that seems to be really good and getting a lot of traction at the moment, and their support's apparently really, really good. So if you are planning to do an email list with a new platform, check out Octopus Email, I think they're called. I think I probably would have, I think they're apparently better than MailerLite, so I would, but I can't be bothered moving again to a different platform. I like MailerLite as it is, so I would definitely try and simplify your email marketing tools as much as possible. Ones, if you have to have integrations, if you need it to integrate with your website or your store, like surveys, if you need to do surveys and forms, then I would find one that can integrate with them. Me and Dolores have had a little bit of an issue with Flowdesk sometimes where it doesn't have a certain integration and we're having to use Zapier. And Zapier can be a bit pricey if things start getting a lot. If you're having a lot of what they call zaps, then it can get very pricey. If you reach your plan, then it will just stop sending them. So if you have people buying on your site and you have an automated email to send them, an automation that sends the purchase through to your email platform for them to have a thank you email for the purchase, they won't receive it. So if you hit your limit in Zapier, they don't receive it. Also, you have that point where you also, where you have people sign up for, let's say, a course like Dolores has on Teachable, and you want them to be sent into your emails so as a new student, if obviously it hits a barrier on Zapier, they're not receiving the welcome email. So we had issues with that. So finding a platform that works for you and has the integrations is also a key point. Obviously, you want to be able to engage a diverse audience as well. If you have audiences that are a little bit varied, or you have quite a large statistic of audience, then you want to be able to what you call segment your email list via interest or their buying behavior, like we do the challenges with Dolores's emails. Obviously, we want to be able to keep that separate if we're sending out a load of emails to do with the challenge, separate from the newsletter. So there's a way of doing that in Flowdesk, and a lot of email marketing platforms do that, but sometimes they might not do it until a higher price point. So it is something to look at. Okay, so email marketing quick wins. To boost your email engagement, a great thing to do would be to ask them to reply to you. Literally, just ask them to reply to you in an email. Most people won't. They won't reply. I get someone, I go, oh yeah, I'll reply to that, but then I forget. That's one way of doing it. Sending obviously feedback surveys. You can ask for feedback on your product or your content that you're sending out. You can incentivize it as well. So send them out a freebie for sending some in. You want to do quick ones that you can just set up. You don't have to make it all fancy. You can just send a quick email out, asking them some questions. You can ask them about their day, or, if you've done something that day and you want to ask their opinion on something, send them an email, ask them their opinion. That's one way of getting quick wins. Another quick win is obviously if you have a product launch and it's just a small product that you've got and you've already sent maybe a teaser email out the previous week, then just send them the email letting them know that it's now uploaded or it's now for sale. That's another way to boost your emails, because obviously people are getting on your list. They're not just getting on your list to get some feedback on your story and your behind the scenes. They're not just doing that. They're opting in to your list to buy from you effectively. I don't join people's lists just because I want to hear from them all the time. You're doing it because you've liked what they do. You know, I follow some people because I like their content, and possibly they've got really high price point products that I probably never will buy, but they will send out something that's either free, or they may send out something that's lower price point, and I normally buy if I really like their brand. So people like Amy Porterfield, I love what she does, and I get on any free thing that she does, usually to do with courses or email marketing, because I love what she has to say. So it's the same goes for artists as well. I joined some artists ones because I love what's out in content. And I love their products, and one day I will buy from them because I like their products. And once I've got the money, I will, especially if they send me an email out saying they've launched a new product, I might end up buying that. So you want to be doing that. So when it comes to product launches, you want to be planning them as well. If it's a small thing and you're only, let's say you've done one design, you've decided to put it on cards, you've put it on scarves or t-shirts or something like that, you don't need to do a massive product launch, obviously. But if it's a collection, then you may want to be doing it a few days of sending teaser emails and then sending out the email to let them know that it's for sale, or sending them an email the week before to let them know. And it's just letting them know to warm them up so they know this thing is coming. Another way of doing it, if you've got quite a big launch, if you've got like a course coming out, then you want to be doing it, if it's a big course, you want to be doing where you're sending an email out a couple of weeks in advance to let them know there's this new course that's going to be coming out. Then the week after, you might drop a bit of teaser of what's included in the course. And then the week after that, then you drop the course in the email. Obviously, artists, designers, crafters, we all have different products. So it also depends on what kind of product you're selling, how big, how small. But you do want to be planning your content and your product launches. If you're quite, let's say you do have courses, then you want to be planning those courses in advance. So like Dolores does, she plans them in advance. She has a schedule. So then we know when they're going to be promoted. So I know then how to set up my emails to send out. So I know when we're going to be doing the teasers, when we're going to be putting out new content. And then obviously if it's quite a big course, we might do a little bit more in advance of the planning. So we got a bit of content around it, a bit of education around it to get people excited for that course, so they're more enticed to join. So yes, the timing your emails is important. So product launch strategies for creatives. You need to understand obviously your audience and their needs, and you need to tailor your launch to speak directly to them. Your art, your designs, your crafts or your products, they all tell a story to that audience that you're selling to. And it could be various different things that you could be doing. So if you have like an art piece, there's an artist I follow on Instagram, and she does these amazing, they're like semi-surreal landscapes. And she always has a story behind that art piece that she's promoting, normally on Reels that she does it. And in the caption, she will have what the buyer has specified for that art piece. So they wanted a different technique that she's had to use, or they've asked for specific animals that they want to be featured in it. She'll be putting that in the reel itself in the caption, but she'll also be telling a story around it. And that's one way to draw people in. And you can also do that within your emails as well. So even if it was just, I don't know, you spilled your coffee while you were painting and it almost got onto the painting, or there was a bit of a stain on the painting from the coffee. It could just be little things that somebody might resonate with, or your dog jumped up whilst you were painting and that's why it's got this smear across it, or it could be anything. You just have to think what would resonate with your audience. You can tell stories behind not even just the art, you could just what you were feeling at that point when you were making your art, what inspired you to create that art piece. You know, you could even let them know what references you used to create that art piece so they can maybe go along to do it themselves. It all boils down to what they would resonate with. So you have to know your audience, who you're speaking to. Being vague doesn't help you. It will not help sell your art pieces or your products. Unfortunately, I had that point when I started my first business. I wasn't very clear on who I was selling to. It means that if you're trying to speak to too many people, you're not going to be speaking to anybody. So you need to resonate with them. So doing your behind the scenes content to build anticipation, and you connect with it on the personal level as well. If you're struggling with something like that, which is something I struggle with myself, I'm not very good at telling stories. So I would look at people that I resonate with and look at what they're doing in their captions, their email content. And what I do is I keep what's called a swipe file. So if I see someone's content I really liked, so an email and a story that they had, or the way they tried to sell their product, and I thought, oh, I really like that, then I would keep that copy. I would take a copy of it, keep it in a file, so I can reference later on and see how I can tailor that to my audience or to my product if I'm selling a product. That is a great way of getting inspiration, and it's also a great way to see how other people try and sell, or how people are resonating with their audience. And look for people that have the similar audience to you as well. That's also very helpful, because you can take snippets from them and tailor it to yourself and to your audience. I did touch on this before with collaborations and list building. If you want to grow your email list fast, collaborations is the best way to do it. Social media is very hit and miss. Only a percentage of your followers are actually going to see your content. So if you've got a very small following, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to build your list very quick. It will be a very slow process, especially if you don't have a variety of lead magnets to actually attract them in. You can just have one core lead magnet that you can use to promote. There's a few people that I know that just have one really core lead magnet that they promote all the time, and then they may do one or two lead magnets that go with a certain piece of content, what they call content upgrade. So it would be more advanced than a blog post, or it'd be a checklist that may go along with that blog post, or YouTube video or podcast. So ways that you can do collaborations is obviously you can collaborate with artists in your niche that have the similar audience. You can do what they call guest appearances on podcasts. You can do it on blog posts, what they call guest blog posting, where you can submit to a blogger in your niche and ask them if you can do a blog post for them on, let's say, a certain topic that you're familiar with, or let's say you have a topic on how to get rid of creative blocks. You could ask them if they would be interested in your blog post, or if you have a certain, let's say, marketing tactic that you've been using and it's worked really well for you, you could ask them if they want that blog post, and you could do a guest post on them and then link back to your lead magnet, or to your website, or to your store, whichever you would prefer. But I would suggest linking it back to a lead magnet, because you want to be getting people on your email list so you can sell to them later. You can do live sessions, so you can also collaborate with other people on their YouTube channel. So let's say you do tutorials for, let's say, watercolor, collaborate with another watercolor artist and do a piece together, or side by side. You can do like a little competition where they do one that you do the other and see how it turns out. You could do that as well. And underneath the video, it can have your freebie, their freebie, to get people on the list. You can also do social media collaborations. So I touched on that with like freebies and giveaways. You can do that with other artists or people that have got similar audience to yourself. Launch timelines, I've touched on this a little bit. So short launch is ideal for limited edition items or flash sales. So 1 to 3 days. So you would possibly do a teaser email to let them know it's coming. The second day, you could be actually doing it where you've said, oh, the cart's open, no, get on it now. And then this third day, you can say, okay, this is your final day, cart will be closing. So if you want to get in now before it closes. So you can do that kind of launch. A standard launch obviously is best for new product lines and courses, so it can span between 1 to 2 weeks. Obviously, if you have a different kind of product where it's a bigger product, so let's say you're doing a program, or like with Dolores, she's got the school enrollment, it would be an extended launch. You would do a load of prep work beforehand, and you'd be wanting to tailor content around that launch. So educating people on the product or the subject around the product. And then you would be starting to tease that launch for that product. And then you'd aim for about 5 to 7 days of where a cart would be open if it was going to be a big launch. So like for a membership site or a program that you may be doing, if for say Dolores does coaching, we would have to do a bit of a teaser for that up and coming, and you'd have to do a bit of planning around it. So why somebody would want coaching in art would be the point of doing the coaching, you know, the benefits of doing the coaching with somebody. You do topics around that and lead it up to the launch before opening the cart. And then whilst the cart was open, you would send emails out like how we did in like December, where we would anticipate what questions people would have about the opening of the cart or the product. Like the membership site for the school, we would have objections, and we would be answering those objections to try and get people to buy into the school opening before the cart closes. It's just trying to guide people down into buying, showing the differences. Why would they buy from you instead of this other person? You would do something like that. You would obviously put your testimonials, your feedback from customers or clients that you've had, students, you would be putting them in the emails as well, just to help guide people down the buying process. This is a bit of a different concept. I've heard a lot around this, and it's been stated differently a few times, but there's a lady, a copywriter that I follow, that uses this specific way of teaching it. I won't go too much into it because it is a bit confusing, and if you don't understand this concept yet. What they call content lenses. This is basically tailoring your content to your customers' buying journey, their awareness stages. If you have somebody that is not on your list yet, not a follower or anything like that, they're at unaware stage. This is when you're trying to attract them in to your world and your products and your content. So you would use obviously inspirational, educational content to introduce them to you and your products. Then there would be the problem aware stage, which is highlighting the common challenges that people might have. Then you would do what they call solution aware, where it's showcasing your product to your ideal solution with the testimonials and demos. This would be where you're trying to get ideal buyer through the stage of buying. Obviously, someone who might not know what your product, that they even had a problem. If, for let's say, digital artists or traditional artists, they don't know about digital art yet. So you want to be doing the content around digital art, you know, what digital art is, how they can do it, what skills they may need, and bring them through that content. Then you would be doing, once they know that, then digital art softwares they could be using, how to use that digital art software. Then you can be leading them to the point where you can then put your product in front of them and say, oh, if you're interested in digital art, I can teach you. You know, this is how you can get on my email list, and I will send you tips on how to do this. Then you'd start leading them through that. Then you can start showing them basics, sending them content about how to use the software, best uses for it, sending them finished pieces that you've done, or quick tutorials where it's sped up in your content. Then, yeah, your tips and tricks. And then what you're doing is leading them through. It's what you call flow. So you're leading them through to the point where they then start becoming product aware, so they know you've got this product. Then you just need to get them to the most aware, where they know your product, why they need it, or why you're different, why your product is different, and why they should buy from you. And then obviously then you need to start focusing on building that loyalty and getting them into repeat customers then as well. And obviously then referrals, so you want to get them to a point where they're happy with your product and they will be happy to refer your product onto somebody else. So that's what they call a buying awareness stage or journey, buyer's journey. So you can Google a lot more than that, possibly a better explanation than I have. So okay, using your unique style and voice. So everybody has their own way of speaking, their own language. You know, we have different parts of the world which have different phrases that they use. Like I use chuffed because I'm in Wales, and that's just something we use. Not everybody, but it is more of a common phrase. Like I say bloody a lot. It's using your words and how you speak in your content. It is difficult because I still struggle with trying to speak how I normally speak within my writing. So it is difficult, but there's ways of finding how to do that, like looking at your people that maybe sound like you. And obviously, like I said, with the swipe files, you could use some of their copy, and a good way of using it, making sure that you're using the best practices, is using AI and getting that to start sounding a bit more like you and drafting it and editing it. That's one way of doing it. And it's a very quick way of being able to get a draft, especially if you have no ideas around it. A good thing to use is ChatGPT. I use it for idea creations if I'm stuck and I need brainstorm, especially if I'm 1 o'clock in the morning and I need to get something out tomorrow and I'm just like, I have no idea what I need to write. Or there's this section and I just can't get it right. Then I will ask ChatGPT for ideas and I will always edit it, never just put it out as it is. You always need to edit it when it comes to AI written content. You want to make sure it sounds like you and that obviously is not plagiarizing anybody else's work. And AI can hallucinate as well. So make sure you check your content because it will say something and you're like, what? That can't be right.
I've
So
had that
make sure you
happen.
check it. Yeah, make sure you check it.
Can I interrupt you, Kaylee, for a second?
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out that we're an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh gosh, right, yeah.
And some people may be needing to leave because we've had a couple that have just left here. So I'm
Okay.
not sure how much more you have in the way of content, but at some point you might.
Not much, no.
Yeah, Q&A pretty soon, I would think.
Yeah, that's fine. I will jump across. Yeah, okay. I'll just quickly run through these then. Okay, so essential tools for yourselves. So obviously recommended platforms. I personally use like MailerLite. I use obviously Flowdesk for Dolores. ConvertKit, such a popular one. So that I would look into it if it's something that you're happy to look at. Another one was that Octopus email for designing, for graphics, for designs, for your emails, Canva. I can't recommend it enough. I love Canva for everything. So easy with templates. Then obviously you can still use like Photoshop and thing as well if you want to use that. And then obviously if you want to do email marketing and product launches and you want information, just email me. I've got my email at the end of this if you want to screenshot it and let me know. And then with your emails, very important, make sure you know your audience and you can get your content to resonate with them. Make sure consistency is part of that. Always be consistent when it comes to emails. Even if it is just once a month, please get an email list and be doing it. Consistency is so key. And then obviously invitation to making sure that you've getting people from social media onto email lists as well. And other content collaborations as well is another important thing. Okay, so I have I've forgotten to put that in. So let me just put this into the chat so everybody's got it. So if you need help with your email marketing and you haven't started yet, or even if you have started, then I can send you this. Now, where do I get that back now? Oh gosh.
I've just posted your email address.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So if anyone wants a checklist for getting started with their email marketing, I have a freebie that I created to help you. It's just a simple checklist that you can even check off digitally as well in a PDF editor. There's also a section for notes if you want that.
I'll copy this and put it in the community as well.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I really appreciate everything you've given tonight, like more than I even imagined. You know, this is a lot of information, and especially when you are just starting out and you've never really even considered doing a mailing list. And you're hearing from everybody, you got to have a mailing list. You got to have a mailing list. This has been really timely information for quite a few of us, I'm sure.
Yes. So I know there's a lot of information for it. And that's why I did the email checklist for anybody who needs it. It's simple, you just go through it. I've also got a course coming out that's a mini course for getting started with your email list. That will be available in April, well, mid-April. Finally got it up today for the waitlist. So within the freebie, there's a link within that freebie. So if you want to get on the waitlist for the mini course, then you can sign up to that and I will help you as much as I can. And I will do pre-recorded training so I get it right and so I can break it down better for you as well. So that, and then if you want to do Q&A, so anyone got any questions?
Before we even start the Q&A, I want to let everybody know that when I first started with Kaylee, I had about 800 people on my mailing list and now I have almost 3,000. So somebody's doing something right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're most
Yes.
welcome. And definitely you guys hit her up with some questions.
Yes, I'll open the chat so I can see. Thank you, Sally. And Dahlia, thank you. I'm sorry if it was a little bit overwhelming for anybody.
I wanted to mention that within my Shopify store, like, so Shopify itself has plugins for a lot of these mail programs. I think a couple of the ones that you mentioned, Kaylee, are actually plugins within Shopify. So check it out. Sometimes they give you better deals through the app than they do through their actual website. So if you're looking for, and I think MailerLite is one of them, and I know MailChimp is one of them. And so check out within your Shopify store, go to the apps and then do a search, and you'll probably find, 24 of them that you can choose from.
Yeah, there's loads of different ones that you can choose. I'll just paste that in now, Carrie. That's the website. It's getting moved next week. I've got a new platform, FEA Create, that I've just signed up for and invested in. So I'll be moving my website and all my email funnels and everything over to that next week. So it's going to be a big job. So I'm moving that over because it has so much more features than the free site I've got set up. So I will be moving everything over, but the link will still stay the same. It just might go down next week for a little bit. But yes, if you want help or anything, just let me know and I will try and be as accommodating as possible around my little boy, obviously. But yeah, I will get back to you in 24 hours at least when I can. But yeah, if you've got any questions, let me know. I'm better at typing, obviously, than I am speaking. So yeah, pre-recorded's fine for me. Live's a bit difficult.
Really appreciate that you are here live, Kaylee, especially at this time of night for you. It's getting very, very late there, I know.
Yes, thank you. It's not, well, to be fair, I've got about 35 minutes before I go to bed anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, it's a bit difficult, time zones, but you just got to accommodate. And my son, it's when he's in bed, it's the best time for me.
Gotcha. Has
So
anybody got anything that they want to ask? Pop your microphone on and go for it.
So after hearing you, I realized that the two panicked emails that I sent out, because I keep hearing that I need to have an email list thing, and I'm like, okay, today's gonna be the day. And I realized now I broke all the rules in those two emails. And I just found it so stressful kind of trying to keep it up. So I do want to say thank you, because I think you gave very actionable things. A lot of times I've found, like, when you hear other people talk about email marketing, it's never really specific to people that are artists or that are creators, and that have to kind of, I guess, go about it a little differently. Like, yes, you have your 3 pillars and all of that's the same, but actually, like, hearing what that would be for an artist, as far as, I just started jotting down ideas for lead magnets while you were talking, because it finally, like, put me in that in that mind frame, and I finally had a better perspective as far as how I should be gearing that, because I get messages on Instagram when people are like, well, what supplies do you use, or how did you get started? And so, like, things like that, now I can direct them to, like, hey, here's my checklist, or here's my favorite supplies, or and then kind of even being able to do, like, quick little demos, like, here's just some basics, but now you can take my full class. So it definitely really kind of just gave me a whole better perspective. So I just wanted to say thank you for that, because it does make a lot more sense. And I think that I probably did send the email that hurt people's eyes. I'm just going to admit that right now. So definitely, it was very simple. Like, there's a lot of simplicity to it, even though it was a lot of information. And so I feel like I learned a lot. So thank you.
you're very welcome, Lindy. Thank you very much for your feedback. Yeah, with it being my first live, it was a bit of a like, oh God. Hopefully not too much information overload. So yeah, try to make it simple, but yeah, I sometimes fail at doing that. But yes, a supply checklist is such a great lead magnet. So yeah, I'm so glad you got some great information out of it. Anybody else? No, I think, is that it?
Fortunately, Kaylee is a member of the community, so she
Yes.
does get in there. If you tag her in a post, she will see that you have tagged her, so she can respond to you direct. Just keep that in mind when you are in the community.
Yes, just let me know and I will try and respond as quickly as possible. So yeah, I'm so glad it went better than I thought it was going to be.
Kaylee, thank you so much. I so appreciate this and all of your ideas. A lot of the things are things that you've already put into action for me. And just hearing how that all works, I think I'm agreeing totally with Lindy here, because now I have sort of the big picture of it all. And so it makes a lot more sense. And just one word I would give as advice to everybody else is pre-plan, because having a whole bunch of content planned out for several months, I think is what's made the real big difference for Kaylee and I to be effective with our emails. So you'll find that too. I think if you plan, if you just think about maybe some of the things that are coming up that you want to talk about, it'll help you to just come up with ideas for your emails. So that would be one of the things I would really strongly suggest that you do. But thank you again, Kaylee. Thanks so much for being here. Let's all give her a
You're
little bit of a clap. Thanks so much for being here, all of you. And yeah, I guess I'll see you. Well, Sally, I'll see you tomorrow, but everybody else, I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye for
Take
now.
care.
Thanks. This was great.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.